3, 2, 1. Let's do it.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's happening?
Sorry about last week. We had a little bit of a crisis I had to go home with. My mom decided she was going to get into the middle of the road when cars were coming by to pick up a couple of dead
Oh,
squirrels.
that's right. And you called it too before it happened.
Yep, and so I was 2 days away from some bed rest because of my back. And so the very next day I'm outside digging a hole with a shovel and pretty much a pickaxe to try to see if I could break up the soil. So then after doing that, I ended up back in bed for the weekend. So it was awesome. So
Not good times.
my weekend wasn't good. So we were planning on doing a show, just kind of a fun stream, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Some funny stuff about, strange stuff, not necessarily funny, but
Could be funny
could
too.
be funny.
Some of them definitely are funny.
We will make it funny. About strange news. This could be anything paranormal to just out there. So we decided to look up some stuff. And with that saying, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
It doesn't matter. I guess you know what? I'll just start off with a little something.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'll get the morbid one out of the way. How about that? So that way we can segue into some more funnier.
We'll do that one.
Stuff.
Let's do that one first.
Yeah. So I just came across this article, and it comes out of India, and I don't know when it happened because it didn't have a date on it, but it was in yesterday's news. But yeah, this guy showed up at the police station. I guess he had a machete in his hand and this bag that had his wife's head in it. So yeah, pretty morbid start. So I guess the story goes that he gave her everything he had. Gave her all the love that he had, and she cheated on him. So he didn't take too kindly to it, and he chopped her head off.
Oh.
Yeah, and apparently he caught like her with this other guy, but he said he couldn't kill him. And so I'm thinking, like maybe he's like, well, I couldn't fault him because maybe, he didn't know she was married. But I read a little further, and it was because he got away. So I'm guessing he would have murdered him if he had the opportunity to. But
yeah. Well, the thing is too is unfortunately I think in another world like that too, where women aren't really respected as equals too. That's you're kind of, and I'm not saying this, so don't hate mail me, but I'm just saying that in other countries they just don't treat women with the same respect. It's almost a form of property, which is horrible. But they've been known to, if you get caught cheating, they still, if I remember this correctly, this was probably just about 15 years ago. They actually stoned a woman in a city square because of it. They took a dump truck full of stone and they dumped it on her.
That's disturbing.
So, yeah.
Who shows up with the head at the police station, though? I mean, this sounds like something out of movie 7 or something.
It's
What's in the bag?
Yeah.
What's in the box?
That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's well, I guess it goes to show it's not just our country. It's every country around the world you get terrible stuff like this.
This is true.
But it's, I mean,
So I found this story interesting yet morbid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's not something that you hear about every day. So I figured.
No, definitely not. Definitely. There was one story here I was gonna pull up, and I'm gonna see if I can find it. You read about the hunger stones I sent you?
No, I did not.
So this was one of the articles, and I thought it kind of went with the Sumerian kind of talk we were talking about. In Europe, hunger stones with a dire warning have been surfaced in Europe.
Is this kind of like the Georgia Guidestone type thing?
Well, it's if you see this picture, and I'm sorry we didn't really get a chance. It's actually like carvings, and it was found on the 23rd of this year, of August. And
I missed this.
Yeah, I just thought it was pretty interesting because it says that the foreboding words were written in German in 1616, excuse me. and Central Europe. Um, Let me just try to get to what it actually says here. Chisel. You got something else there too. Things just pop up. This could be probably clickbait or whatever too. So.
It wouldn't shock me. There's
No,
no shortage
no.
of clickbait.
Unfortunately, a lot of these news stories. Missy did send me one, however. This was also in England, and I think this was taken out of the Sun, but I think there was another source that a woman decided. Well, she didn't decide. She said that she had fallen in love with a ghost. And,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and she wants to have its baby.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So does she have like this active communication with this ghost? I mean, she must be claiming to, right?
Well, yeah, she says that they're in love, and she thinks, well, she said in a interview
Actually,
that she was trying to figure out how it was possible for her to get pregnant from this ghost because she wants to have its baby.
Okay. You know, I'm guessing this isn't the same situation that I know of a medium
Yeah.
that has her own YouTube channel. She's actually, you know, she does pretty well from what I
Okay.
see. But she's talked about, you know, she calls her like twin flame or whatnot, and it's someone that she actually knew of in real life. They didn't actually meet in real life, but they were communicated in real life.
Oh, okay.
And since she can communicate with spirits, well, at least allegedly, she claims that there's contact still, and that, you know, she has a lot of feelings for them. But obviously, she knows that there can't be any real relationship from it. But again, I mean, even that sounds a little crazy. But
Well, it's
this is next level.
Yeah, this is this woman actually has been on talk shows for. I mean, I can only assume there must be like a, you know, like a Mari Povich or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I guess, you know, hey, there's also something else here. This is that one I told you. There's supposed to be footage again. This is a UK paper.
This is the dog one.
This is the dog, yeah, where there was terrifying footage of so it says, a 7-foot wolf chasing a dog through the woods. Terrifying footage taken in Saskatchewan, Canada. Oh, well, British Columbia, Canada. So they have a large wolf. Now, I was talking with somebody. There was
Wait, is it in Saskatchewan or is it in British Columbia?
Well, it's Saskatchewan. So would that be British Columbia?
No.
Saskatchewan?
No, that's its own province.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I
So it's
believe
like
so.
a little island by itself, kind of a deal.
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Because I believe Saskatoon is a city in Saskatchewan.
Okay.
I think. I am not Mr. Geography.
I'm not either, but that would probably be very helpful to know.
Right?
Let me see. So this story just goes on saying that there was terrifying footage that shows a 7-foot wolf chasing a dog in the woods.
Yeah, I'm confident it is. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a province.
Okay. So this was in there, and I was talking with somebody though, and they were talking about a dire wolf. Have you ever heard of a dire wolf? Apparently, this is a very, very large wolf that some people think could have went extinct, but some people think it's possible that maybe this thing survived, and you know, just
Do
like
they have an estimate of what year they think it went extinct?
I don't know. I did see there was
time frame, I should say.
There was a video. I would say probably early. I want to say early 1900s or something like that. So this is probably the time when all the timber and stuff like that happened,
something that close to where we are, it's
yeah.
very possible
Yeah.
that some could have hung on. Okay.
But it's amazing to think that there. I mean, and it could be just an oddball thing. Listen. The video could be even. as far as I know, it could even be a Burmese mountain dog or something that's black and chasing a dog through woods. I mean, because it's really not very clear. You know what I mean? It's definitely done with a cell phone, so
Yeah.
you know.
It seems like any time that there's footage of like
How
a
unclear it is.
UFO or
Yeah,
some
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
strange animal or something, quick, get the worst camera you can find.
Right.
You know?
You can shake it so that way
Yeah.
you can't make it out. You know.
know.
Well, that this is a reference going to a show I watched. There's a show, it used to be Top Gear, and now they're on. The show is called Grand Tour. It's on Amazon. For car fans, it's just a funny show, just a lot of comedy and great show. But they were talking about the Loch Ness Monster once, and because they were actually in Scotland, and they could see ripples in the water. Like, oh, did you see the ripples? It's a monster. They're saying. He goes, no. There's no such thing as the Loch Ness Monster. He says.
How do you know?
And that's what they said. Well, how do you know? He goes, because look at the photographs. He goes, look how blurry they are. Well, maybe he's in motion. They're like, yeah, well, it's in black and white. Well, maybe he's black and white, they say, right? So finally he puts up this little tiny mouse. It's like a mouse shrew. Elephant shrew, I think is what it was called. Or elephant mouse. And it had a little long nose on it. And this thing is like the Ferrari of the rodent world. It's super like sonic for its size. If you were to, and there's this beautiful clear picture of it just sitting on like a piece of wood. And he goes, now I want you guys to think about this a second. He goes, you have the Loch Ness Monster. Nobody has taken a good photograph of it or videotaped it where it's clear enough. He goes, but look at this. He goes, this is a very, 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 very rare animal, and yet it's completely in focus. It's taken picture and it's in color. And it was kind of like, well, yeah, it kind of puts it to,
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, the problem is because of all these.
It's the hoaxers that ruin it for people who are trying to take it seriously.
The rad papers and all that stuff. It's kind of. So anyway, so that's that. So there we got a big giant wolf in Canada, Saskatchewan
you
area.
got Moo on there.
Yep, my buddy Moo. He's always with me. Yep, my little guardian kitty cat, who was a puppy dog trapped in a cat's body. And then I had, was it this one? Was it this one? What's this one? This may not be. This might be something funny. The other thing I wanted to talk about is there was also talk just recently about, you and I were talking about going back to the moon. We just saw in this article. We're talking about sending some astronauts back to the moon, I guess. They want to try to see if they can...
Oh, you're going to have all these flat earthers claiming fake.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's all right. They can live in their world.
I wish that just one of them could be shot up in a rocket so they could see for themselves.
Yeah. Better yet.
You know what they would say if they came back and didn't lie about it and said, what they really saw? All the other flat earthers would say, oh, they converted you. They paid you to do it.
Better yet, throw them in a spacesuit, throw them outside of the shuttle or the capsule, and let them look at the Earth.
Yeah, but then they'll also say, oh, the glass plating on it was fisheye lens.
No, it happens to be the same acrylic lens that covers the Earth so we don't get killed by space debris.
Wait, but space doesn't exist.
Well, when they put the dome up, it did. You got to think about this, man. You got perfect sense. Let's, I still say we got to do something with that. Just no.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here it is. There was also an article that was actually in the Daily Star, which is again probably a crap paper because it's probably like our National Enquirer. But it says, this is something to think about. I mean, think about how old the households and the buildings are over in England, right? And they said, it's possible every household is haunted in England. Because there really aren't any new houses. Everything is, what I mean? I'm sure there might be one or two new houses, but think about the land and how many people have lived over there for so long. It kind of goes with the story or the feeling that if you really want to think about it, there's somebody everywhere.
Ooh, that reminds me, too. This is a little sort of related to what you were just saying.
Okay.
And you already know this because I talked to you about it, but I'm going to do a couple things here. My friend Barry Strom, the author.
Mhm.
I'm in the Facebook group with him.
Yep.
He does the Spirit Board,
Yes.
and he was on a show I like to listen to late night in the Midlands with Michael Vera.
Yeah, that's a good
And
show, man.
I got on. I called in and had a couple questions answered, and according to his Spirit Board, the thing, entity, whatever person I saw back when I was like 12 or whatnot, the story I was talking about when me and my
Mhm.
brother were just home, I was told that it was a previous resident of the house here. And that's what I saw running through the house and stomping up the stairs.
Uh,
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, that was one of, I think, the theories we even talked about, but we didn't really have proof. But that's kind of cool that it coincides with it, you know? You know?
And like I said, you can believe in the,
Oh,
what
yeah.
the stuff
Yeah,
says or not. But I've seen, because I listen to them every time they come on, and I can verify that they take real callers because
Mhm.
I called myself.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they've had questions, and some people have actually like asked, like almost like not trick questions, but they'd ask questions that they knew the answer to
Mhm.
just to see if it got, and they've been amazed by some of the answers they've gotten. So
You know, that's the thing too. Is
check
it's
out
not
Barry Strom's YouTube page.
very strong.
I actually said I would plug him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give him a
Absolutely.
little plug here on the show.
Oh, and
So-
speaking of a plug, next Wednesday, I'm doing a show with Karen.
Yeah, she put up something yesterday
Yeah,
about that.
I did like it, and we're going to do that. There is a show coming up. Me and Danny are going to be doing actually a bunch of things coming up soon. I just looked at my dates. I have to confirm one right now, but we're going to do one with the Waterbury Senior Citizens Home. I got contacted. We're going to be doing a lecture there. This was before Karen we decided to start doing some stuff together. So I have some shows without her, unfortunately, but we will be doing some stuff together. I do have a lecture going on also, or we have a lecture going on, Dan and I, down at the Torrington Library also later on in October. Later in October, we're also going to be doing another.
Black Cat.
Yep, the Black Cat. That's right. Yep, we're going to be doing the Black Cat. That one's with Karen. That one's not going to be so much as our normal PowerPoint presentation as much as us joining together and answering questions. I think she's doing readings too, which is
Yes,
going to
she
be pretty
is.
cool.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be cool.
so there is some of that. But yeah, things have just been kind of going crazy, and I do apologize. Oh, I do want to make a correction to my friend Diana. When we were talking about the voices we captured in her house, my wife corrected me and said it wasn't her mom, it was her aunt.
Oh,
But she was
okay.
like her mom because they lived together, they helped each other out.
Gotcha.
And so I do apologize. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, and I'm sorry about that, Diana. I wanted to make that correction. My wife put me in my place. I also do want to send out some best wishes for a friend of ours who just lost her boyfriend, Leanne. I'm so sorry to hear about that. I hope you're doing well. God bless you guys, and I hope that you guys get some comfort through loved ones and friends. And I just wanted to give a shout out, so I wanted to send our condolences. But there's been so much going on lately, and things have been really crazy. We are still working on this internet issue as far as the signal goes, and we're slowly getting. I think we're slowly getting our answers. I talked with your brother-in-law Rob, and he's going to look.
Yeah,
into
he's
some
going to
stuff
look
for us.
at this thing here too.
Yeah. I told him to tear it apart if he wants. I said at this point, or why don't we give him that old tower? Because he said if he can get something, he might be able to build something for us, so we can give him the old S&I tower, the old Dell. I have that. I also
The
have
one sitting over there.
Yeah, the one that's been sitting there. I told you I was going to take away the day after
Oh, I
it
said
came in.
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
It's not taking up any space.
But I'm thinking if we could build that one, that would be fantastic.
If we're going to build something, might as well build it from scratch.
Make a monster.
And we can get it cheaper than what you would pay for one in the store. So
Well, he was telling me some deals and stuff he can get.
that might be the way to go.
I
Actually.
think maybe we should just have him
'Cause,
build us a monster.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can get something to throw into that. And,
All right.
That would probably be the best way to go.
And we can do it so that it's wired specifically for this.
Yeah.
Then we can take it with us. We can actually do shows on the road like we want to do.
Yeah.
We are going to try to do a show with Karen, and we will be taking our little setup here with us when we go do that. That'll be a Chasing Shadows show where both Dan and I go in. We possibly get readings and just talk about the differences because we're still learning too. You know, I'm kind of slowing down with the investigating just because I haven't been feeling very good. Danny is still full-hearted, so is Laura and my wife and Chuck and Tab and Justin when we can get a hold of him because he's been.
I saw Justin the other day.
Yeah, how's he doing?
He's good.
Good. He's a great guy. So yeah, he said he was going to do some stuff, even if he does it when he hikes and gets some locations. That's awesome.
Cool.
And with him being in the military, I'm sure he can get like precise locations. You know, where he seems to be that kind of person where he'd make sure he got it.
I tell you what, shit ever hits the fan, you know, I want him around.
Absolutely.
Or if we have to go into survival mode, oh yeah.
I'll take him and my buddy Chuck, the two of those
Yeah.
guys, and we'd be good.
We'll be good.
We'd be good. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's been a lot going on in my plate, and I did turn down an investigation with Diana. She wanted us to go back out to Mystic to do another investigation at a cemetery, and I'm really sorry, guys, but I just have not been feeling very good. Danny will tell you, there's been a couple times I even had to call the show, and we would do it a day later. That's why we moved from Thursday to Friday.
It's kind of just, it's open.
It is,
You know,
it is. But
we don't really have a set time where
no,
it's like, this is
no.
when we have to do it.
No.
So that's.
Well, we're trying to do this where it's.
Once we really get situated, though, we'll do some live stuff.
I want to. Yeah, I really would love to. I would love to actually, you know, maybe incorporate this with, like I said, an investigation. I think would be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
You know, and the other thing is too is we're also there. I'm just throwing this out there, even though I'm slowing down with investigations. Danny is my right hand man, so if there's anybody out there that's in investigations and they need some help, Danny and Laura, I trust in my equipment. They're wonderful. So I just want to throw that out there. So even if I'm stepping back a little bit because of my back, please don't hesitate to get a hold of Danny through Facebook. You know, and Chuck and Tab are my other connections. Justin, and Missy. So don't be afraid to write us, even if you don't speak to me specifically, because I'm not really on Facebook very much, except for the show now. Just kind of pulled back from that. But I didn't want you to think I'm not there. I'm just, you know, because of some issues that I've been going through with my back and stuff, I've been kind of quieting down a little bit. But certainly I'm still into it. We're looking into a case that will probably spark me back up again for a while.
Yeah, once we jump really into that.
Yeah, so.
And, I mean, we can do it any time. It's just basically just picking a time where everybody feels good.
Yeah.
And you know, just.
I think before it gets too cold.
Yeah, definitely.
Because when it gets really cold, I get real cold up.
I was actually thinking like late October.
Okay.
You know, just that time of year, it might be pretty cool.
You know, I would have no objections too, as well as like All Saints Day, the day after Halloween is good, because you're still gonna have everything pretty spiked up. You know, that's supposed to be theoretically, you know, the day when things are supposedly closing, so you're supposed to have a lot more activity then too. So yeah, I mean. Basically, I give you guys the reins for this because you guys are in contact with her, and you know, I want to learn some more about the land and stuff. But it's interesting, you know. There's a lot of cool things.
Yep.
A lot of historical places I want to go. I would love to still get into the Yankee Peddler. I would love to do it now because you know there's nobody in there because it's empty right now. But it's hard because, you know, there's so many concerns today. But that's kind of been what's going on, guys. So I apologize if I haven't gotten back to some of you or whatever. The best way to probably contact me would be through my phone number, which is on there. But you got to leave a message more than, you know, if there's a legitimate case when you call. Please state what's going on and give us a little heads up and your name, your address, phone number, and we'll try to get back to you.
In a brief message.
Yeah. I am careful about taking certain phone calls. Simply, there's a lot of times I get a lot of missed calls, but nobody leaves messages. I don't play phone tag like that. If you need my help, leave a message and I will try to get back to you. Again, like I said, or reach out to Danny as well. You can actually send him a message right on Facebook, and he would say, Eric, hey, listen, I got this contact. Let's look into this. So, it's getting to the point where I'm feeling my age, and I just want to chill out for a little bit. But I'm definitely into this. I love doing the podcast and everything else. So that's kind of what I'm gearing more towards. But I still have a fascination with the paranormal and everything else, and still would like to do lectures and just talk about looking at things in different ways.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because we're seeing. I think more people are a lot more open to things now.
Yeah, there's a higher percentage of people
Yeah.
that are. Well, also, maybe it's not that there's more people that are into it. It's out more.
Yeah. Yeah.
People aren't really.
Yeah.
They're not. They're not looked down at for talking about it.
It's a weird
getting
time.
into
I mean,
it,
it's a great time right now, but it's also.
there was a time where, like, if you, probably even as a kid, like, if.
Oh yeah. We weren't allowed to talk about stuff that happened. in the
Yeah,
house
like
and stuff like that.
if I talked about the stuff that went on in the house, like, people would be like, "Oh yeah, you're crazy."
Yeah, you better get that boy some help. Yeah,
If
yeah.
I
yeah.
went to school around this time and that stuff was happening, I'd be talking about it all the time.
Yeah, check this out. Come on over to the
Yeah.
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different world now. The ironic thing is, Melissa and I were popping around channels last weekend when I wasn't feeling so hot. And, there's only a few ghost shows that I will actually watch. I mostly watch them to laugh.
What's funny is I pretty much don't watch any of them anymore.
But it's amazing how thin it's getting out there.
Do you know what I really enjoy watching, though?
What's that?
Videos of poltergeist activity.
Some
I
of
love
those-
it. I love it.
Some of those are hilarious.
And
though.
some are so
Some of them are
badly
so
fake.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple fake ones that look really good, though.
Oh yeah,
My favorite kitchen one there, that's a fake one.
that one's a fake one. Yeah, that's a good.
At least
fake.
I believe it is.
That's a good fake.
Um,
And the other one, guys, whoever's out there listening right now, we're so tired of seeing the girl from Rings with the dark hair in front of her face standing in a. Why is every ghost in a bathrobe with her hair down in front of her face? Every single one I see like that, I'm like, okay, click, that's fake. Okay, click,
Yeah.
that's fake. Okay, click, that's fake. Come up with some original stuff, guys. Like the closet ghost there we saw. I think that's a fake, the kitchen closet ghost, but it's a good fake.
Are you talking about the one that you see the reflection?
No,
or the one with their
yeah, with the
Yeah.
that to me is a hidden closet.
To me, it looks fake,
yeah.
but
Well,
I don't know though. I think it looks fake,
I want to go there.
but I think it could be
I
real.
want to go there, and I want to check it out myself.
Yeah.
And you
If
know
that's
what?
a legitimate like pantry,
Yeah.
it's real.
Yeah, but I'm gonna check that fucking thing out.
Of course, with CGI these days and stuff. Oh, this is an
Dude,
older one though.
This is
but-
the one with where I think there's a fake shelving.
Yeah.
Where it's a door that closed, like it's a hallway,
Yeah.
and it's got this glass on it. And it looks really nice, and you open it up, and it's supposed to be a pantry. But I think there's a double hidden door. So I'm a carpenter, so I look for that shit. So I would tear that fucking thing apart. I'd be like, not literally doing damage to the house, but I would find a way. I'd be like, I'm gonna check this out.
Doing damage to the house.
Yeah. Well, if I had to. No.
Just to prove my
Just to
point.
prove that you guys are.
Full.
But there's, and that's the other problem too, because of all that shit, but yeah. I remember, I'd never forget there was an episode of the Ghost Hunters back when they were really hot,
Mm.
and this was when Grant was there, and they went to California, and there was this haunted. I thought it was called the Blue Room or something like that, or there was this haunted restaurant. It was supposed to be haunted by the spirit of a woman, and they found out the whole place was wired up, and they had speakers and fake double
Did
mirrors.
they know about it, or they discovered it?
They discovered it when they brought it to the guy. They were pissed, you know. They're like, you know, you wasted our time, and the guy's like, oh yeah. He's like, well, you didn't tell us about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to actually, you know?
Yeah. They just wanted attention.
Yeah. So they basically got a lot of free fucking advertisement, you know.
Yeah. I wouldn't have aired that episode.
No, I wouldn't have either. I would have been like, you're a bunch. But you know what? In a way, I guess it was because they were showing that.
They were showing that, like, hey, we are really. We're trying to get the truth. We're not just gonna.
Right.
Fake it.
Yeah. But it's so sad because they did fake a lot of stuff. So.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
Well, I know that they never really got anything good. But...
No, but if you watch like their satellite feeds and stuff for their production, a friend of mine was able to tap into those, and you could see where they, you know, of course it's reality TV, so they go back to this part and act scared like you did before.
Oh, I see.
So it's like a lot of reenactments.
Okay, but they weren't faking evidence, is what I'm saying.
I
don't
want to say, but there was some things, like there was this one where they were in this house, and again it was supposed to be like in California, and there was this coffee table.
Maybe it's just a California thing.
Maybe, and then there was this piece of artwork or a statue on this table, and it shows in the video feed. Steve is holding the video camera up like this,
mm-hmm.
and when he sits down, as he sits, he's moving his camera down so this thing that's on the table looks like it's coming up out of the floor.
Oh,
and they say, oh, it was a shadow, it came up out of the floor, but when you actually see it side by side, they show him sitting down with his camera, and he's sitting directly in front of this.
You gotta know that that's you casting that shadow.
And what it was that little statue. When he sat down, the way that the camera was, and because there was a lack of light, it looked like a shadow coming up out of the floor.
But I mean, anyone that knows what they're doing could figure that out.
Well, that's why they didn't put that angle in the show. You know, so there's, I mean,
I remember they did like a live one on Halloween where the guy had the device in his hand and he tossed
Ghost
it.
Adventures, yeah.
Was that Ghost Adventures?
That was Ghost Adventures,
okay.
yeah.
They called that guy out on it,
Oh,
too.
yeah, it was so blatant.
Yeah.
It was so stupid.
They were pissed.
Of course they were.
Yeah.
Of course they were, you know, because the guy was a bullshit artist. But that's...
They always crack me up, Ghost Adventures, because it's like, we're going to rile the spirit up.
Oh,
and
you
then
go in, Aaron.
when they hear, like, the slightest creak, it's like, oh!
Yep,
but they just spent the last, like, 10 minutes, like, challenging something.
What was that?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. If the place is haunted, they called you in, it's probably a ghost.
Yeah.
You're that or your production manager behind the screens making noises and stuff. But the show is good, though. I mean, I like it to see where they go.
Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, because it's silly.
One of my favorites that my sister and I used to watch all the time, and this wasn't an investigation show.
Okay.
It was a haunting. It was all recreation, reenactments.
Those were pretty good.
But they were based off of like real stories.
Yep.
And it was kind of scary because of the way that it was kind of like low budget-ish.
Yeah.
And just the way they put it together.
But it's creepy.
It was really good.
But it's creepy.
And then they would have interviews with the real people involved.
Right.
But yeah, I liked it.
Cool.
I thought it was a cool show.
I used to like that other one, Celebrity Ghost Stories. That was kind of cool too.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That was a pretty good show. Yeah, so I mean, there was some good ones. I cannot stand.
How the hell did we get on this? We just kind of just went.
Oh, because we went from news to, bullshit artists.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's funny.
And I won't say a word, Amy Allen. But I won't say that word, Amy Allen. But I think she's full of shit.
What is she on?
She's that Dead Files.
Oh, with the investigator guy.
Yeah.
There?
Did you ever see that one? She was on a Halloween special years back, where she was just an investigator then, and she was at some. I want to say it was the Stanley. I think it was the Stanley Hotel, and she was investigating back there. And she goes, and sometimes I use a medium because, I don't have psychic abilities, but it's nice to know that somebody's in contact with the spirit. Now she actually said that, and then later on.
Didn't she claim to be?
Oh, she does claim to be. Yeah, she absolutely claims to be a psychic today. Yeah, but every house she was going into for the first 4 seasons, multiple ghosts. It wasn't just one ghost. So you got like 17 ghosts here. You got 13 ghosts.
Oh, of course.
Now it's more like, well, you have one or two ghosts here. You have a ghost here or something. So it's like amazing how they kind of, throw it back. But boy, I'll tell you what. I definitely would like to check out some of these houses. If somebody gave me the opportunity to go into these houses, I would have us all go there. We would do a live show, and
That'd be kind of boring for people to watch.
yeah, people will realize how boring it actually is when you do, okay.
It's easy to glamour it up, like when you see it on TV, they, just cut to all the interesting stuff, but most of it is really boring.
You're sitting in the dark with a voice recorder, and that's about it, And of course, after a while you get kind of punch drunk, you start making jokes and stuff, and that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the most part, but then there are those cases where, you get the 45 minutes into it and all stuff breaks loose, so.
Then there's ones where nothing at all happens.
Nothing at all. But, all right, so going back to news, because we got sidetracked.
Yeah, that was a fun sidetrack.
Yeah, that was all right.
Oh, I got one.
All right, go ahead.
I was thinking about. So there's this married couple. I believe they're from the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, they're UK, and at least Europe. They're at least Europe, but I think the UK because they talked about pounds being the money, so that would be UK, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Excuse me.
Bless you in advance.
Oh, I almost did. Sorry, I held that one back.
So this couple, they like to, get each other riled up, play jokes on
Like
each
most
other.
husband and wives.
Yeah. So last month, this woman called up her husband at work and said that she won 250,000 pounds in the lottery.
Okay.
Got him all excited and stuff, and then it was like, ha, just kidding.
Oh.
Well, she had to make the call again this month because she actually won £1 million.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good
and
news.
he didn't believe her.
Of course not. So you show up with a brand new Aston Martin.
Yeah, so I guess she had to send him, either it was a screenshot of like a message or whatever it was, but yeah, she actually won $1 million.
That's awesome.
So that's
awesome.
a cool story.
That is a cool story. Yeah, unfortunately, most of these stories are also always bad. You notice that? There's
let's try to bring some positivity.
Yeah,
into
absolutely,
it,
absolutely. I know. Let me see. There was one thing I was going to tell you. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. You got to realize Missy sends me a lot of these stories to share with Dan, and I share some with them here and there. But
sometimes I forget to click on them, and I just never see them.
Let me see. I was going to say there was something else I just saw. Hold on a second. Let me go back through my memory here this past week.
R.I.P. to Burt Reynolds, by the way.
Oh!
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah. I know. God bless you, Burt, man. I loved your movies. You were funny. I know it's weird because my mom was actually just watching a movie with him. I'll get back to my story in a minute.
She was with him watching a movie?
Yes.
That's cool.
Well, she probably was because, why not? He can be hanging out with his fans now, right?
True.
So she was watching this movie, and I found myself, this was a movie I've never saw before. It's called Malone.
Never saw it.
And even though it was dated, I was watching it. I'm like, I started getting into it. I'm like, you forget. It's like, wow, oh my God. This movie was filmed back in the 80s, but some of the stuff was pretty good. Sharky's Machine was another cool movie.
Never saw it.
That was a good movie. Of course.
I didn't really see too many of his movies, actually.
He can play a serious part, but he was so much better with the little comical stuff to it, like Smoking the Bandit. I mean, that was just a hilarious movie. How over the top and ridiculous was it, but it was just such a fun movie.
It was a fun movie.
There's something about car chases and, I don't know, and back then, let's face it, it wasn't like today where there's really no way you're going to get away from anybody today. You're just not going to. Back then, when it was one-on-one with a car and, let's face it, technology was not so hip. You had a CB. That's about it.
Yeah.
That and payphones. It's a different life back then, a whole different world back then, But
Did you think about what you were?
Yeah, brain dead today.
Was it a news story that Missy
It was a
sent
news
you?
story, yeah.
Was it one that you sent to me?
It could have been. She sends me all these kooky paranormal things. That thing with the woman wanting to get pregnant was one of them.
Yeah.
That was.
What's the? Didn't you talked about another one about the person running for office down in Florida?
Oh, yeah. Why
Is
don't we
that
talk?
the one-
Yeah,
is that
why
the
don't we
one?
talk about that one there?
Yeah, go for it.
Apparently, there was a woman, or there is a woman.
Is there one about planes? Is that one you were thinking of? Something pulling planes down?
Oh, yeah, that was something else. There was some force pulling airplanes down, or with this one airplane down. That was kind of weird.
Moon night lights are back. What's that shit?
Oh, that's one I sent you. I thought it was just kind of cool. Is this the one? Oh, this is the Bermuda Triangle. There's more news on the Bermuda Triangle, actually.
Interesting. Well, you want to hit the Florida one real quick?
Yeah, the Florida one was, Missy sent me, there was a woman who was running for office in Florida. And,
she has some strange names.
yeah, I won't say the name, but you can find this if you Google it. There's a woman in Florida that was running for some political office. And she told her story, and in her story she wanted to let everybody know that when she was like a young child.
She was seven, yeah.
She got abducted by aliens and, I don't know, experimented on her. But she doesn't want that to change anybody's opinion on her when they elect her into the office, because she doesn't want that to be a political sway where more people will vote for her because she's been abducted.
I think it would be less.
I would think it'd be less.
Because she's saying it happened at 7.
Yeah.
Now, if she said this just happened like 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I think that would be more of a big deal.
Yeah. But
look, regardless if she was or was not, when you're 7 years old, you can have a crazy, like lucid nightmare, and to you that's real.
The boogeyman under the bed,
and
man.
you'll remember that as being real.
The boogeyman under the bed. I had these, dating myself, back when I was younger, we had these steel frame beds that were like you would see in a hospital. Those ugly ones.
I had bunk beds of those things.
Yeah. So this thing was my bed. It was, of course, a hand-me-down through the family. And so I had this one. It was an off-white, kind of a cream color. And I remember you had instead of a box spring, what they actually had was like this coil, I guess a mattress, but it wasn't a mattress. It was just a thin piece of metal with a bunch of coil springs, and that's what you put your mattress on. But the problem was I liked a higher bed. So what I did was I had one mattress, and then I got like a hand-me-down mattress from my brother's bed when he got a new mattress because he wanted a comfort firm or whatever bullshit. So I got that, so I put it there, so I had like these stacks, and they're comfortable. But where I was going with this is there was a big space under these beds, not like today where you have, 6 inches. I mean, there was like space to put all kinds of stuff under your bed. And so when I was a kid, of course I had nothing under my bed, but you'd watch a scary movie and you got the sheets pulled up, and all of a sudden you got to go to the bathroom, so you jump out of your bed really quick, run to the bathroom, jump back in bed really quick. But at 7 years old, that was real, man. So, I mean, how do we know what she saw wasn't something she saw in the air and then fell asleep?
I want us to do a show on, like lucid dreaming and astral projection and that sort of thing. There's this guy, I think his name, Michael Raduga. I think he's Russian, actually. He does these seminars. Now, he claims that it's all the same phenomena.
Okay.
I personally believe that astral projection is different than lucid dreaming. He lumps them all together, and he calls it just being in the phase. But everything that falls into the category, he pretty much says it's all the same thing. So for me, I don't know, because people that are really in astral projection and lucid dreaming, they say, no, it's completely different.
I would say it's different because of this. Just when I did do some meditative courses and stuff I was going through, I wasn't asleep. You're completely relaxed. You're at a state where you let every stress, every muscle, every worry just go away. You're still conscious, though. It's not like when you're sleeping. You're sleeping at your subconscious. You're
like, for me, like I could be dreaming and then become lucid. Like I had one yesterday morning like that. But there's times where I'm in a deep meditative state
Mhm.
in my bed, and like I literally float out of bed, still conscious.
Okay.
So to me, that's more astral projection as opposed to being asleep, waking, becoming lucid in my dream, and being in a different environment. Whereas when that happens, where I feel myself floating while I'm conscious, I'm in my room,
Yeah.
and it's my room.
Yeah.
Like,
It's hard. I mean, even like sleep studies and stuff that they have done over the years, with REM, and when you actually get into that really deep, paralyzing sleep, people also need to realize you don't. Okay, when you get through this paralyzing area, it's only for a little while. It's until you actually become so subconscious, and then eventually you do move around in your sleep. Because I don't know about you, but I never wake up the same way I went to bed. And as far as I know, I remember all the way up going to bed a certain way, and I don't remember moving. So when you're sleepy, you obviously move.
well, there's people that flail around.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. But I actually twist because I can't get comfortable. It takes me forever. But so I think it's different for everyone. I mean, you can't say, well, because that's how I see it, that's how you see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you and I have already talked about
Well, here's the thing.
that. It's perception.
I've listened to a lot of people who do astral projection, and they feel a separation from their body.
Yep.
And they can't interact with the physical world. Like, they try to touch something and their hand goes through it.
Okay.
Whereas in a dream state, everything
It's solid.
is solid.
You can touch it, pick things
So-
up. Yeah, yeah.
And I've had both.
Yeah.
I've been in situations where I was, like, I couldn't touch things. And I've also had them where everything has been solid and I could interact with the environment.
I mean, Karen might be able to answer this better than
Yeah,
I could.
probably.
Because, I mean, through the meditation and stuff, that's who I went through, was through meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And just to clarify this, and I want to put this out there, Karen doesn't try to teach you to be psychic. She doesn't do that.
You can't be taught to be psychic.
Be taught to be psychic. But you go to her classes to open your mind, to learn how to meditate, how to get more peace and harmonious. And it just helps you open up some doors. That could lead to things you've never noticed before, which is really cool. You also get this after a while when you do investigating long enough. You start to put some stock into your feelings, which you get, and some stock into always follow your gut judgment, and but always back it up with evidence. You can't just say, well, I had a feeling and that, so it's real. But 9 out of 10 times when we do the EMF readings with feelings, when we feel something, that thing will pop up. It will spike. Not all the time. But it's kind of cool when it does happen, and you guys, and like we said, we get voices and stuff, and that makes a world of difference. But
when we get voices with the spikes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But that's a tough question with the astral projection and lucid dreaming, because
I don't even know how I got to that.
Well, it's I don't know. We went from news to
we
cool,
just
fun
keep
stuff.
I know I brought it up because I was gonna say that I'd like to do a show on that.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot to cover there.
Yeah, there really is.
That would be kind of cool. Maybe that's when I could talk with Karen and see if we can talk about some meditation and self-healing.
Yeah.
That would be a great show.
Yeah.
And then we can go into the astral projection. Maybe she could explain it a little easier.
I mean, it's
for us,
it's related, so it would make sense.
Yeah. So that's something. So, I don't know. Karen's classes are private. She usually does small groups. But if you guys are watching this, I will be on a show next week. Certainly talk to her about it. She does all kinds of really cool stuff. So I mean, if she's doing classes, she might even say it when I'm doing the show. Hey, listen, I've got openings for classes. Check it out. And if she does, I'll let you know, because I think it'd be good for you to go a couple times. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's very relaxing and it's nice. It's definitely a very safe environment. So, but yeah, it's kind of cool. So, listen. We're kind of sputtering out here. We're just trying to put something in this week because It was just a hell of a couple weeks, and I'm sorry I didn't get to do much research. We usually
Oh,
are.
that's all right.
We're a little better
Did I-
on
did I
shows,
have-
but
Any? Did I talk about any other ones before? I don't remember.
Other news
Something had
stories?
to do about the UFO. Didn't you have one about a UFO thing?
There was something about a UFO. I don't know. I sent so many out, and then, like I said,
Or you had the Bermuda Triangle?
the
thing,
Bermuda
too.
Triangle one, yeah. Let's see what we got here. Bermuda Triangle, our planet full of mysteries. Here are 10 of them. Oh, this is just an explanation of. Yeah. Oh, actually, there was a kind of a cool story that turned up in the news, and I just heard about it recently. Ghost ships. You know, ghost ships.
Okay.
There was something about a ship, I was reading somewhere, that was lost for 30-something years. And back in 2000, 2001, they found it floating.
Really?
Yeah, and
So how long it was gone? 30?
like 30 years.
And over those 30 years, it's been floating, and no one happened to run into it.
Well, what they thought originally happened was, now I do have to sneeze.
Bless you.
See, so it's the truth. What happened is EGOS. That's what they say.
What's that?
EGOS. After you sneeze and you say something, or
Yeah.
you say something and you sneeze, the Hungarian term is EGOS. It means
Gotcha.
the truth.
Gotcha.
Again, I'm a little rusty because I did have more information about this when we were going to originally do the news. But there was supposedly a ship, I think it was an icebreaker or a freighter, and the ship set sail 30 years ago and was going through the northern waters and just disappeared. So they couldn't figure out what happened or anything like that. Later on, it was found floating, and they think what happened was it became icebound. Everybody left the ship.
Okay.
They were able to get back, but they couldn't get the ship out. And then what eventually happened is, as you know, the planet changes,
Mhm.
it melted out enough where the ship actually floated
In
loose.
30 years, that's
Yeah,
it?
30 years, yeah.
That doesn't seem like a long enough time to do that.
Well, that's what the story was. So they found the ship, and they said that it was completely empty, and it was just creepy because it was gone for 30 years or 20 years, and then all of a sudden this thing turns up. So
Strange.
Uh,
That is a strange one.
I think you could probably find a video here on YouTube about ghost ships and this ship. But it was something I was reading. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cool story, you know?
Yeah, that is cool.
I know that there's been, there was something when I was a kid, about 100 years ago, I remember hearing something about something around here. I think it was a little fishing vessel or something, where they found it. I don't know. I think it was Long Island Sound. We're in Connecticut, so Long Island Sound sounds about right. But they actually found an empty vessel, and they found out that the people, vanished, or,
Yeah.
they're just really weird stories. I mean, which could be anything.
Well,
I mean,
I've heard a story like that. I didn't know where
Yeah.
it happened, but there was one. There was even like a distress signal sent out,
okay.
and something like, oh no, the one I'm thinking about is somebody called over the radio that like everybody's dead, the crew's dead,
Holy
and then
shit.
finally said I'm dead or something, and when they got on board, everybody was dead, but like they had no way of knowing how they died.
Poison
Something
or something?
strange. I don't
Poison?
know.
Well, there was that one in Australia too that was just around 2000-ish, somewhere around there.
But yeah, I
The
remember
three guys.
also hearing about like where there was just nobody on the ship.
That,
They just
that
all
one, yeah,
disappeared.
yeah. The three guys
Yeah.
were going fishing, and I guess one of them was an avid sailor, and it was
Oh
his
no,
ship.
no, I'm talking about like a full
Oh,
ship,
oh,
like with tons of people on it.
oh.
And they just disappeared. The people
No
just
shit.
disappeared. And
Hmm.
someone asked about that with the spirit board, and what was said on that is they were taking the ship from up there.
Really?
Yeah. They were supposed to be returned, but something happened and they all died, so they just made them disappear. Again, if you believe that. But that's what the spirit board story said.
Well, let's face it, piracy still happens too today. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not talking about piracy.
No,
I'm talking
no,
about
yeah.
an alien ship.
Yeah, an alien abduction. But what I'm saying is there's still pirates in this world.
Yeah, Somali pirates.
Oh, some of them are vicious, man.
I'm
yeah.
the captain now.
No, that was a great fucking movie.
Never
man.
watched it.
Oh, you gotta see it.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, man.
I really don't watch that many movies anymore.
I know.
I used to be so into like watching movies and stuff. Now I just
There aren't many good movies today. I mean, even like we were just talking to Burt Reynolds, we made a joke about it, Ghost and stuff with Burt Reynolds, but I know that they're dated, but you have to look at what they had to work with back then. But the storylines were so great because they were original. Nothing's original today.
Oh,
Everything's
there's
a remake.
nothing original. Yeah.
Everything is a remake. And then when the originals come out, they place so much of the good stuff on the commercials. By the time you watch it, the movie sucks.
I mean, think about it. Even like cool stuff like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh yeah,
that's all based off comic books.
it's all comic.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean,
and
it's
those
great.
are some cool movies.
They are great movies, and don't get me wrong, but there's a couple of them like I just couldn't get into. Like my daughter Riley wanted to watch one of the Transformers, and growing up, you know, we watched the cartoons.
Oh
and
yeah,
shit.
that was awesome.
And I was amazed by like the first one. I thought was good. The second one was okay.
Repetitive and just blah.
But now it's just there's so much going on that you can't focus on what's going on because there's just so much explosions going and chaos
That's Michael
going.
Bay for you.
And you just can't focus in on one thing. And after a while, it's just like I just watched an hour and a half of a bunch of explosions, but there was no storyline behind any of it. You know, and it was just very weak storylines. Yeah, computer graphics are awesome today. It's amazing how realistic they are, but you could have the greatest effects in the world, and if there's not a storyline, the movie's gonna suck. You know.
That is fair.
I kind of miss like the Alfred Hitchcock movies and the suspense movies where, you know, and I'm not talking about the confusion movies like I'm gonna get shit for this, but like Pulp Fiction, but you know where you're watching.
I love movies like that.
But you're trying to figure it out, and when you get to the end, you're like, "What the fuck just happened?" Yeah,
you know, you got to watch a couple of times. Like Memento was one where like it took a while to figure out that not that the movie was playing backwards in the color scenes, but that all the black and white scenes were all in succession. But
I don't know if
confusing.
I don't know if I could sit through it. Yeah, I don't know if I could sit through it. Well, that's like Quentin Tarantino movies. They're so, and he does it for a reason. He films them like 70 movies over the top.
Oh yeah, it's all grindhouse.
You know, yeah, and I mean it, and they're fun to watch. But at least there's a storyline there where you can watch those. You know, Reservoir Dogs was another movie.
Love that movie.
That was a great fucking movie.
Love it.
Mr. Pink. What do I got to be Mr. Pink? Because Mr. Purple was taken.
That's right.
Oh man, but you know, it's hard today because I think we need more to stimulate us. Because I mean, think about what we have. You got video games that are so realistic. Like we were just laughing watching
GTA 5.
Grand Theft Auto 5 videos on YouTube, and it's hilarious.
Role playing on their different servers. It's hysterical.
But it's so amazing how graphics have come up from Pong. You remember Pong?
Nope.
There were two sticks, and there was a dot.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
And
I just never had that.
And you had it was table tennis basically.
Oh no, I know what it is.
You know?
I just didn't. I honestly didn't have a computer until I was a senior in high school.
So you waited for the good shit.
Yeah.
You didn't want that little pansy ass shit. You wanted the good stuff.
I had a Nintendo back in 1986 or something.
Those still blew away a lot of stuff though compared to the Ataris, man.
What else? I had a Sega Genesis.
Very cool.
With the Sega CD. Then, like, the last one I actually, had was the original PlayStation.
That's cool.
After that, I didn't get any more video game systems.
The original
But my
PlayStation
brother
was
had
amazing.
some, and we lived together for a while. So, I played, his N64 and his Xbox, and, so I, played a little bit of those. But I'm really just not a big video game person.
It's weird because I guess when I was a kid, I was just fascinated by being able to be enveloped in another world to escape. Kind of like reading a book, you're enveloped with it. And even now, like when I'm feeling like shit, I'll pop in a war game or something. They're so cool and realistic that you almost find yourselves transformed into that story. And some of these games, the way they're written, Um, there's some fantastic stories. I mean, they actually are, to me, the new movies. I like video games.
They're more interesting.
Oh, I do like them better because at least you're doing something, and you have to.
You have
know,
control over the plot to a certain
and what
extent.
unlike the old video games, what you decide now really makes the game change. You know, so you can play it 3 times, it'll be different. You know, but so movies are kind of black. You know, all the horror movies are nothing but demons and possessed nuns now, and this and that, and possessed dolls, and we had all that stuff too. It was called the Puppet Master. Now they just remastered that or revised it. Now they made a new version of that. And I saw something that I didn't even realize, but in 2015 they redid Poltergeist.
Not sort of. It's a completely different
Stupid, sucky.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, because I said, "What's this 2015 Poltergeist?"
Yeah.
You guys can't even
I
think of
don't
an
even
original
think.
ghost
I don't
movie?
even think it was like a little girl. I think it was a little boy that they changed it to or something. And is it family? Different family? Didn't use the same family. Yeah, I don't even know because I'm like, I'm all set.
And how many horror movies have they made? They made like 17 of them or something. It's so.
I liked the original.
Yeah.
The remake that they did in 2005
with Ryan Reynolds?
was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good
Ryan
actor.
Reynolds is good to watch. Yeah.
I like him. He's pretty funny too.
Deadpool movies are hysterical.
Oh my god.
I finally just watched the second one.
I didn't see the second one, so don't tell me. But the first one was hilarious.
The second one's hilarious.
Is it? Because I think I might be watching that tonight when I go home.
Oh, go for it. It's definitely fun.
I know, but yeah, folks, we're gonna wrap this up. We're at about an hour.
Yeah, it actually went pretty quick. You know,
it did.
It's kind of fun when we just shoot the shit and ramble about nothing.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it'll be more interesting too if we can get people once we get this internet thing set up, where we could do the live feed through Facebook and also through
have some viewer participation.
Absolutely, that's what we're really
we
trying to go
need viewers though.
Yeah, we got a 17 though.
Yeah, 17.
17
baby.
solid, baby. That's more than we had before we started.
Yeah.
I always think positive, man. You got to think positive.
You know what? It's just starting, and we're not really much for promoting ourselves. So.
Well, you try, but it's kind of hard because all this is so new to us. You know, I mean, we've never done this before.
By the time we actually have people paying attention to us, we'll really know what we're doing.
I hope so. I hope so.
And if that doesn't happen, we're still having a good time. So who cares?
So basically, screw it. Just have a good time, man.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to have good times. That's all.
And listen.